Hi everyone, this is Miss Afric again, just here to show you a few more examples of graphing sine and cosine, this time a few with a vertical shift since we didn't get to any in the last video. Alright, now again, remember some of my problems might be in a different order on your paper, so just feel free to cross them out and rewrite them so that yours can match up with mine. Okay, let's try this third problem, y equals negative 2 sine of x plus 3. So remember our amplitude is the absolute value of a, and this number right there, that's a, so it'd be the absolute value of negative 2, which is just 2. Okay, the period is 2 pi divided by b, and b is the number that's being multiplied by x. So in this case, that's just a 1, so 2 pi divided by 1 is just 2 pi. Alright, our interval comes from the period. We cut it into fourths, so we divide it by 4. So 2 pi divided by 4 will give us pi over 2, 1/2 pi. And lastly, my vertical shift. Now the vertical shift is the number you're adding on the end, and this time I do have a number, it's going to be 3. Okay, when your vertical shift changes, where like there's actually a number there, so it's not just 0, think of that as a shift up and down of the midline. So the midline is going up 3. Alright, well since my midline is not at 0, I'm going to have to draw it. So I'm going to go to where 3 is, 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going to draw a dashed line as my midline. Okay, try and be as accurate as possible. Hopefully yours isn't as wavy looking as mine. In fact, I'm going to change it because it's annoying me. Okay, sweet. Then remember, after you have your midline, we take the amplitude, and that tells us how many to go up and down from the midline. So since my amplitude is 2, I'm going to start at my midline and go up 2, and that would be at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to start my midline and go down 2. So that would be right here at 1. So the highest this graph will be is 5, the lowest is 1. Alright, last step is to get my x values. Now I'm going to label them up here on my new midline. So again, 2 periods, that would be ending at 4 pi. So cut that in half and we have 2 pi. Cut that in half and we have pi. Cut that in half and we have pi over 2. And then we just kind of keep moving along and halving things. It's the easiest way to get these numbers. So 1 pi and 2 pi is 1.5, that's 3/2 pi. 2 pi and 4 pi, that's 3 pi. And then 2 and 3, so that would be 5/2 pi. And between 3 and 4 would be 7/2 pi. Alright, nice. So now we're ready to start graphing. Now remember, in order to figure out where to start, we have to look to see if it's sine or cosine. In this case, it's sine. Do you remember where to start when it's sine? At the midline, I hope you said, or thought at least in your head. Okay, we start at the midline, and then just remember, if it's positive, we go up next, and if it's negative, we go down next. So in this case, it is sine. That means I'm going to start at my midline. Remember, it changed, so move with it, right? Start at your midline. And this is a negative sine function, so I'm going to go down to the minimum first. Right? If it was positive, I would go up. Since it's negative, I go down. And then we just follow our pattern, making sure that where you plot your points is truly at the minimum, maximum, or middle. Right? Try and be precise about it. So there. Oops, that one was bad. Well, I'll just fix it up. There we go. There's my graph of 2 periods. Alright, see, it's not so bad. Maybe let's try just one more. So take a look at number 4. And again, if yours is different, just rewrite it. Okay, y equals 3 cosine of x plus 1. So our amplitude would be the absolute value of 3, which is 3. Our period here is going to be 2 pi yet again. And that's going to make our interval 2 pi divided by 4, which simplifies to pi over 2. Then in this one, I have that plus 1 on the end, so that means my vertical shift is a plus 1. In other words, it's up 1 for the midline. So again, since my midline's not 0, I'm going to plot 1, and we're going to draw a new midline. Okay, dashed line is fine. That got a little messy. Let me see if I can fix that. Resurrect it. Yeah, good enough. Alright, now remember, once you have your midline, we go up and down the amplitude. So start at 1, and I'm going to go up 3. So that would be at 4. That's my max. And then start at 1 and go down 3. 0, -1, -2. So max is 4, min is -2. Alright, now my x's. So again, 2 periods. My period is 2 pi, so double that would be 4 pi. And then we start halving things. So 2 pi, pi, pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. I got 3 pi, so 5 pi over 2, and 7 pi over 2. Alright, once again, let's check to see where I'm starting. Cosine. So cosine, remember, is either at the max or the min, depending on if it's positive or negative. This one is a positive, so that means we're going to start at the max. My max here is 4, so my first point goes at 4. And then we follow our pattern. Middle, minimum. Middle, maximum. Middle, minimum, etc. Be careful not to skip a point. It's really easy to do that, and it's going to mess up your whole graph and think that you did something wrong. Nice. Alright, and there's my graph, 2 full periods. Now remember, we could keep going, but we're not going to make you do that. 2 periods is enough. Alright, I hope that helped explain a few more problems. Once again, if you have any questions, just write them down. See ya.